Today's review is the Valken Tactical Battle Machine CQB. This is part of the second gen, or maybe second wave, whatever they're calling it, of battle machines. And there's three in this second wave of battle machines. There is the CQB, which is this one, with a 10.5-inch barrel. It's like, just like a CQB-R. There is a TTC, which is basically a 14-inch version of this with a flip-up sight in the front. And there is the SD, which has a mock suppressor in the front, which I think makes it go out to 14 inches. But I didn't get any of those for the store because I was like, we'll just get the CQB and the TTC. Those will sell. The SD looked a little, I don't know, looked a little weird. I don't know if it would sell or not, but hey, we'll find out. So, it's probably made by SRC. That's what the original battle machines were that came out the beginning of springtime. And, let's take a quick look at this, as it is a review. Out of the box, it comes with like a manual and like a little packet of BBs. And what else we got here? It comes with a front grip that is wrist rails on both sides. Just undo this knob in the bottom, slide it off, and it does look like it has spots for a nut and bolt if you wanted to put it on there, but you just use the little guy right there to tighten it onto the rail. We got little warranty thing, bulletproof 1 year AG parts warranty. I believe it's a your standard parts and labor sort of thing, not covering misuse. Or like putting Walmart 12 grams in it and getting them stuck in the barrel it's considered misuse. Hitting it against a tree probably considered misuse. What else we got? Oh yeah, don't brandish. Don't be an idiot with your airsoft gun. Don't be air stupid. And it's just a little liability thing we got on there. Let's see, we have a magazine. It is a 300 round high cap that looks similar to a PMag. So it's got those kind of PMag-ish grips. So, high cap, windy wheel. This one's a little, I got fattish fingers. They're short and fat. So I couldn't really play a saxophone as a kid. But I'm assuming if your fingers are thinner, that would be an issue because it's got some grooves. It's kind of beveled on there so you can get an easier grip. But yeah, not too bad. Sort of, I guess, an ABS magazine. The gun is a nice nylon plastic, sort of like the combat machines from G&G. So it feels nice and thick and nice and durable. Even the rail is not aluminum. It is nylon. Let's see what else we got going on here. Flip up sight in the back. Nothing special. Doesn't spring. Spring loaded. On the TTC, the longer gun with the flip-up front sight, that is spring-loaded. Just push a button and it pops up. Let's see, some nasty flash there. Guess it bugs me, but, go over it with an X-Acto knife, can you clean that off? Let's see what else we got. Some spiel over here. Little effing pentagram thing, probably for, I forget what that was for. I looked it up once, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. I mean, first I thought it was Taiwan, and I think I looked it up and it turned out to be Germany or something like that. It was, whatever the hell it was. But hey, it was useful information and I forgot. So, hold the charging handle. It's not that it locks back, it's just sticky. So the bolt release does nothing. It's just kind of sticky in there. And you get your standard AEG style hop up. It's metal. Right there. It's aluminum. But plastic is nice. Should be durable. Should be a good rental gun. The grip is pretty cool. These little ridges in there. Little thumb shelf. And same on the other side too, so left and righties can hold it easily. Let's see what else we got here. Nice Sotwon style stock. Let's just take this off. So it's got the typical push the little things and pops off. Be careful when it's cold out because you can snap those off. Oh, so the buttstock, the pad is screwed to this, which is a nice touch because I've seen so many people lose these butt pads. Let's see what else we got. Oh yes, the front flash hider is, I've already taken the liberty of loosening this one, but it is 14mm counterclockwise if you want to put a suppressor on there or whatever. And it's super glued on. I mean, there was threads on this, but super glue was so tight that it just ripped them right out. So, FYI. Typical sort of, is that a metal barrel? Yeah, metal out of barrel. Yeah, it looks to be, it's, the sight is cast in place onto the barrel, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, it definitely is. Actually, I can just look right here and know. Yeah, it is. So the front A-pillar sight is cast in place, so if you don't want that, get the other versions. The SD doesn't have this, and the TTC doesn't have this. Let's see, other external features, you know, other than your typical M4 stuff. Let's see. Oh, yep, fuse. Come on, fuse. You can do it. Oh, it's probably stop. Oh, wait. That's right. On this gun, it has detachable fuse. So, I don't know what they were going for there, but, you know, I don't run with a fuse. Especially now that I just use my Polyester most of the time. But all my other guns, I don't use a fuse in. So let's see what this is. It's probably a 20 or a 30. Pop this guy out. And 25 amp. And it's just a regular automotive fuse. Still pretty easy to get, even though it's an old automotive type. Everything now in cars seems to be spade or mini spade. And I'll put that aside. So we got that. Typical adjustment on the soft mod stock. Let's see, what else? Not too much. It's basic M4. The price is pretty good. Doesn't come with a battery and charger. It shoots about, this one shoots about 325 FPS. I do have some chrono footage. I'll put that on the screen. And it's kind of slow. I used a fully charged 9.6 on it. And it, you know, it kind of chugged. It was 666, you know, BBs per second, which isn't too fast with a 9.6. You know, I wish it was better, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Let's see what else we got going on here. Really, nothing really on the outside. It's just basically plain vanilla M4 CQB with, you know, just different colors. Oh, it also comes in all black. If you don't want the tan or dark earth, you can get it in all black as well. And that goes on the other two new Wave 2 battle machines. So, you know what, I'm going to bring the camera in closer and take this thing apart. Let's start by taking the stock off. I have pre-loosened the screw because it would just be boring. Show me off camera undoing a screw, as it is now with me. There we go, come on. And take that off. So just your typical, what was that, 5mm buffer tube screw. The little split washer in there to lock it. So yeah, that's pretty much standard on any gun that has a, a buffer tube that's screwed on. That's cast on. It's not separate. And we are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position stock. And more molding. I mean, some cleanup would be nice. But it is an entry-level gun, but still, I mean, a little more flash removal would be cool. Alright, what else we got? Tamiya. People know how I feel about these. Plate is plastic. And let's take off the front. It's a 2.5mm for this pin here. Ooh, it's in there good. Let's just kind of blast this off with a hammer. Oily. So yeah, standard front pin. Okay, we'll get back to that. Let's see, yeah, sort of typical, you know, one-piece hop-up. Let's see, pull this guy out. So this is all plastic. You can see little ejector pin marks where it pops itself out of the mold. Well, it doesn't pop itself. It gets popped out by these little pins that pop it out of the injection mold. course that does nothing, 'cause it's not an ICS. There's this, yeah, it's one piece, looks like. Let's see what else we got. Is this a regular wrist that you can take off? Okay. CAC style. Yep. Oh, it's got, that's kind of cool. Kind of help it stay on there better. Yep. 2-piece. Oh, look at that. The front handguard. Crap. I don't even know what that's called. But the front handguard cap here is molded in part of the front sight in this, 2 inches of the barrel here. Then just screw down a little red Loctite. This is fluted. I'm assuming they did this to help if you had a front wired gun and you were fitting a battery in there. It does have the holes to front wire it in there. Though they haven't released a model of this that's front wired, but it's maybe actually see an SRC has front wired guns. As we said before, this is counterclockwise, but I kind of yanked mine out and it's super glued on there. So if you're going to put a new suppressor, flash hider thing, you're probably going to have to clean that out. Maybe put a little bit of acetone on a rag and just be careful and do it where somewhere ventilated. Acetone could be a little strong smelling, so it means it's probably either really good for you or really, really bad for you. So just, you can clean that up with some acetone. You might have to leave it on there for maybe a few minutes to loosen up the super glue and just kind of go around. Or if you have a steel flash hider, which some guns do come with them, Classic Army, they've got steel flash hiders and whatnot. Make sure it's steel, not aluminum. You can actually cut out the threads with a steel flash hider by just kind of going on there and going off and going on and going off like you would a die on a pipe, because that'll cut the plastic right out of there, the super glue right out of there. But that's what I do. But I've done it a lot, so I'm careful and I know what I'm doing. But you could easily strip your threads doing it that way. But if you know how to do it, it's easy and cleans them right out instead of using the acetone on it and kind of scraping the stuff out. All right, so yeah, the brace is cool. So that kind of nice keeps it up there, so it won't wobble. Delta ring is the old Marui style that you see on Maruis, old Maruis and ICSs. So not a real steel compatible. So you couldn't put like a Magpul handguard on this and have it stay nice. Alright, that's that. And outer barrel, it's got some nasty red Loctite there. So when they stuck this on, it must have gone down the outside of the barrel. There's nothing inside, so it's not too bad. This is a 605. It's aluminum, but it's a nice thick aluminum, so I don't see any trouble with it bending. It looks pretty decent inside, but it's one of those things where only time will tell. You gotta kind of shoot your gun to know if your barrel is crappy or not. But it's a little sloppy with the red Loctite. And your typical one-piece hop-up. No idea how good the rubber is on this. I've never really owned an SRC. Worked on quite a few, but never owned one. Just put this back in there. Put that out of the way. And here is the gearbox in the lower. So as again, you got your spiel here of don't shoot yourself in the eye, not a toy, blah blah blah. Looks like a serial number. Yeah, it is. Kind of engraved into there. Made Taiwan, cast in there. That's just silk screen that's just stamped on. Well, not silk screen, but just stamp. It's not engraved. Let's see. I mean, this they got rid of most of the flash, so it's nice and smooth. But I guess maybe that's more critical to, because your hand would be on, that'd be sharp, and that'd be annoying. Because they got like flash in the front and all that. Let's see. So let's take the rest of this off. So 2.5 again here on the back pin with some Loctite on it. That didn't quite. All right, whatever. Also greased or lubed. And we got a base plate. if you get one of these, I think your first mod should be upgrading the motor. Get a nice high torque in there. Give a better trigger response, a higher rate of fire. Alright, just kind of knock that off. There it goes. Yeah. Don't lose this. If you put this back on without putting a little metal disc in there, you'll be right on the armature, and your motor will sound terrible, and you'll wreck things. Your motor will get really hot, which is bad. All right, what else we got here? Some pliers. There we go. I actually like the angled nose pliers for working on airsoft guns. Oh, SRC on the motor belt. Well, we knew it was SRC going in. Oop, hey. Yeah, a little bit of grease on the pinion. And yeah. Oh, it's not torque. We know it's a slow motor. This sounds kind of nasty, but probably because it's not broken in. I'm assuming the bushings or the brushes are still need some breaking in. Alright, what else we got here? And one more screw. I do like the grip. It's kind of neat. Alright, so let's take out the mag release. These are the easier ones to take out. It's not like a real mag release. I don't want to strip that out. My little screwdriver that I was going to use for that is too big. How about this one? Come over here. If I'm afraid, don't fail me now. Wow. Well, as I do not want to strip that out because it's a little Phillips head. Nope. Just as I was saying, oh, this is the better one to have. Oh, there it is. These are so cheap, I have two of them, because Harbor Freight. It's a Phillips number 0, PHO0, but it has the correct head. So if you're stripping out screws, it's probably because you have the wrong head on it. There we go. I bet there's a little Loctite or something in this too. So it's pretty stiff in there. Right? No, there isn't. So that's that. And there. And this is just aluminum, pot metal maybe. But yeah, definitely want to use the correct Phillips head, or else that will just obliterate that screw. And now it's time to play which side are the ferrules on. Or not the ferrules, oh crap, I can't think of stuff today. The little ribs. Oh, okay. That just easily came in. That was, wow. Alright, that, I guess it's purely cosmetic. So yeah, you can see the ribs are right there. So that doesn't, a little bit, it just seriously pushed, okay. So there's not even hooking up on that side. So, alright, put that over there. And, you know, put it right between kind of safe and semi. Gently pull down and forward. It should come out. We got enough room to get that out of there. This might be... No, we don't. Alright, so what we're going to do, because we have the tool, is pop the pins out of here. But there we go. Just a little, you know, pin popping tool for small Tamayas. Works on both sides, male and female. Otherwise, you'd kind of have to leave this attached when you're working on the gearbox. There it is. I don't see any recycling things, but in their literature, they're like, oh, it's HDP. And it's like, I've heard of HDPE, but they're like high-density polymer. But, I mean, it feels like nylon, but I don't think it's HDPE, which is, that's what they make wobbles out of. Like, they make, you know, milk and probably alcohol bottles out of. But yeah, it feels nice and tough. Oh, look at that. So they use this on the guns that have the two-piece hop-up as well. Alright, so what do we got here? Tappet plate. Kind of unique. It's kind of reinforced around here. It's got the Marui style. Additional safety, electrical safety. Oh, this is neat. I've never seen that on a gun before. So is that just to make it not wobble in there, or help align it? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, and they even molded that to be like that. So yeah, that's a first. And we're gonna pop this so shit doesn't spring out on us. So, you know, moved all my tools out of the way, and now it's like I can't find that one tool I need. If I had a little hook somewhere. There we go. Just a little hook from Harbor Freight. And keep your fingers clear of this as well when you're working on it. You can fuck up your finger pretty easily on that if a piston goes and your finger's there, or if it goes back and your finger's there. There we go. Just kind of wipe this off. And a bunch of screws. Let's use this thing on it. Alright, looks like they're all Loctite, but some are more Loctite than others, so it's just kind of, there we go. Looks like it's red Loctite, so it's the more permanent Loctite, but it's not like holding like red Loctite. But I think I only did the tops of the screws, I didn't do it on the threads. So a neat little trick is to slightly tighten, then loosen if you're trying to get something off with Loctite. You don't want to use heat or chemicals to remove the Loctite. And also having a screwdriver that fits to help prevent or ruin it. There we go. No, not that one. Oh, shit. What's up with you, SRC? And your wacky screw sizes. That one there. It's like to get stuck in there too. Oh man, there is red Loctite there. This guy here. Get a little more torque. So some of these didn't want to come out. Even though that tip is magnetic on the screwdriver, the electric one. It's kind of stuck even though they were spinning free. That one. There it goes. Oh yeah, because it's got red Loctite kind of at the top. Wow. Okay, well you can stand there then. Alright, let's put a screwdriver or something in the back of this. So, spring's going to shoot out at us. Go. All right, so what do we got here? Yeah, metal spring guide, It's good to see. It's got a washer, which, while not as good as a bearing, it's better than not having a washer. So it helps with quieten the spring down and prevent it from kind of sticking. The spring needs to move when it's compressing. So that's not bad. This gun shoots 325. It's a full cylinder, it looks like. Yeah. Let's see a little. So this is probably an M110-ish spring. So if you put a longer barrel on it, it's going to shoot harder. It's going to shoot more FPS, which I'm assuming they did this just so that the longer one, the TTC and the SD, which are 14 inches, would have higher FPS, because they're supposed to have, I don't know, they said like 365, 370 FPS. And that would certainly do it. It also means if you use heavier BBs in this, you get more energy out of it as well. So this is what, over-volumed, I guess you would call that. Well, the spring is not progressive, not progressive, what do you call it? It's a progressive spring. It's a non-linear spring. Yeah. No, it's a linear spring. Whatever, you know what I mean. The ones with the little closer edges for non-progressive sort of springs there. Alright, so let's take a look at this guy here, the cylinder and piston assembly. For a 1 MP5. Alright, let's get rid of this so we don't lose it. And stick it in this sock. Oh, hey, now you come out. Yeah, there's like dried red Loctite on that. I mean, they've always done a good job on their piston stuff. This one's leaky at the front. How much of that is not having an O-ring nozzle? No, that is an O-ring nozzle. Interesting. So is this. Yeah, so it's O-ring, but I guess the O-ring is just kind of too small, yeah, too large. Because normally these are pretty good from them. Let's see what else we got. Pistons are okay for what they are for this application. I mean, if you want to do a higher velocity gun, you might want to go with half steel rack or full steel rack. This looks like it's maybe a nylon reinforced. Can't really tell if there's fibers in there or not, but it should be plenty strong for what it's doing here. Ported piston head, screw. It's got a weight on the end, so no bearings, just the weight. And a little green shaving. Oh, this thing's like brand new. Where'd you come from? There's stuff right there. And it's not off the teeth. But there's a lot of flash. So maybe that's just extra flash. Alright. So, let's check angle of engagement. Oh, before we do that. Oh yeah, 2 O-rings, little buffer. Not bad. This is nice aluminum. This has good compression, so it's got to be this nozzle. Maybe the O-ring is just not good. Maybe it was from a bad batch of O-rings or something. But normally these are nice and tight on the SRCs. So let's see. Let's take this out of there. And yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good for a stock angle of engagement. So this will be fine for years to come. Until you stick an 11-1 LiPo on it, you get pre-engagement and rip out your teeth. But you know, I think 9.6, 7.4, this gun should be good for a long time. Let's see what else we got going here. Oh, hey, look at that! It's a steel gear. SRC was a fan of doing the cast gears, like I might have one. Bear with me. Come on. I usually throw them away, but I might have one. Actually, this is the Marui one, I think. Yeah, this. There's a cast Magic Zinc pot metal gear, and they don't hold up too well on American velocities. Still find these in Maruis, and you find that the older Battle Machine had this, when they first came out. And it's just a chintzy part. Not a fan. Yeah, they tend to get mangled. But hey, that's good. I'm glad they did that. Alright, so let's see what the shimming's like. Oh, there's red Loctite. The grease is adequate. It looks like up here they used a clear silicone grease. Down here is more of a, maybe even a moly grease on that. No, it's just a really thick silicone grease. But not bad. For, cheap gun, these are around, I think, 150 to 170 bucks. I think they want to map price these for. So let's put this back on there. As it's putting grease on my fingertips was a bad idea. All right. And those being black, it's kind of hard to see them in there. There we go. Let's put a couple screws, and nope, no, not that one. That would fuck shit up. Put that one and this one. Terrible. A lot of play, but it spins free. It's not over shimmed, I'd say. I mean, I could use, a little bit of shimming on that. It's quite loose. But, yeah. It's kind of wobbly in the bushing on that one. That one, no, it's just up and down. This is up and down inside the axial and side to side play. Because that bushing's not that awesome. Oh yeah, 6mm. It looked like steel bushings on that. But spin decently, but rattly. You get better shimming out of a classic Army or G&G. But I'm not gonna complain too much. As this gun, it's built to a price. But for that price, it's not bad. Take this back off. So is that steel? No. Those are not steel. Oh, it did pull off a pulled off a shim. Alright, let's kind of stick that on there. So what are those if they're not steel? I mean, it could be nickel-plated brass or something. But those aren't steel, but whatever. They're 6mm, so I wouldn't upgrade to any sort of bearing on this. The bearing's going to be way too small. Just keep it how it is. It's not plastic. I think, did the other Battle Machine have plastic? Did it have plastic bushings? It might have. Might have had nylon bushings. So this is, yeah, some upgrades, I guess, for Wave 2. Oh, and it's reinforced back there. Right there. Corners aren't radiused. but on a budget gun you don't really see that often. But again, with this spring, it's not gonna bust your gearbox open. All right, let's look at the gears. This one, like I said, I'm glad they did this. Give us a steel gear. So I'll put that over there. And this guy here, plenty of stops. And this one here, yeah, a lot of grease in the bottom. Why even bother getting grease there? But yeah, not too bad, I guess. No, there is grease there. So yeah, gears aren't too bad. I have seen these break on SRCs as well. Kind of brittle. It's usually on their MP40s. These just demolish themselves. But I've also seen it on some of their other guns, like their AKs. I think it's mostly related to what battery you're running. And what else we got here? Let's pop the trigger out. Trigger feels like aluminum or pot metal. Yeah. So, not steel like some of the higher-end guns. And trigger assembly there. Safety, yada yada yada. So what we got here? We got copper on the block itself and nickel plated on the shuttle. Again, I don't think this is a big deal because the person that buys this gun isn't going to throw a level 1 lipo on it. Well, you know, I say that now, but I'm sure people will do it. But that probably would be fine with a 9.6. Like, I'm looking at the stock, it's like, you know, perfectly fit for a 9.6 there. Or, you know, 7.4 butterfly. A regular 7.4 fit on there? Yeah, even a regular one. But it's really meant for, I think, a 9.6. But yeah, not bad. Glad they improved these. I know some people had some issues with them, and this looks like it's going to alleviate some of that, so we'll see. Here we go. This is the new Battle Machine CQB, the Wave 2, I guess they call it. Oh yeah, hey, look at this anti-reverse lash. Yeah, it's decently beefy. But yes, Battle Machine CQB from Wave 2. So if you don't like the CQB, you could get the longer one, the TTC, which looks kind of cool. I got one of those, and actually I got two of those. I got one with the tan thing and one with the black. And they have the SD, which maybe in the next order I'll get some SDs, but they didn't look as good as the CQB and the TTC. So again, if you like this, you know, like, subscribe, share, whatever. You can visit us at masterhobbies.com. You know, we're just a little store. We don't ship or anything. People ask about that, but we can't compete. You know, we can't do free shipping. Essentially, what it is, you know, shipping an airsoft gun's like $30. So if you're, you know, Airsoft GI or e-bike, they can easily absorb that cost. So once again, Jeff from Master Hobbies, and talk to you later.